What entrepreneurs should expect when expecting tariffs. Tariffs. It's everywhere, you know. Depending on who you ask, it's either the beginning of a global economic meltdown or just another political stunt. As an entrepreneur, understanding tariffs is crucial, so let's cut through the noise and explain what's actually happening, and more importantly, give you the lowdown on what it means for you, the entrepreneur, both as a producer and a consumer. We're going to cover everything from Trump tariffs and US tariffs to China tariffs and even tariffs on Canada to give you a complete picture. Recently, tariffs have been a hot topic, with actions taken on goods from certain countries. While some of these are currently paused, the situation highlights how quickly the rules can change. And if you're not paying attention, you're already behind the proverbial 8-ball, my friend. So what exactly are tariffs anyway? Tariffs are essentially a tax, but not directly on foreign governments or businesses as most people inaccurately think. You see, tariffs, they're actually paid in the importing country by the company bringing in the goods, and that money goes directly to the government. Where it affects your business is that the importer will likely pass these costs on. This will mean higher prices for the goods you purchase for your business. Need a new laptop or mobile phone? You're going to be paying more. Even companies not directly impacted by tariffs might raise prices just because their competitors did, and now they can do the same. And guess what? That's free money for them. Understanding these potential impacts is key to adapting your business strategy. Governments use tariffs for various reasons. First, they can protect domestic industries by making imported goods more expensive, giving local businesses a competitive edge. This can be an opportunity for domestic businesses, but may also lead to higher input costs for those relying on imported materials. Second, tariffs generate revenue for the government. However, in modern times, they are not the primary source of government funding. Third, tariffs are used as a bargaining chip in international trade negotiations. This tactic is used to leverage deals, but also in broader discussions about trade policy. You'll often hear about reciprocal tariffs in these negotiations. It's this third use of tariffs where Donald Trump is an outlier. You see, past presidents have always used tariffs as a last-ditch resort. Trump views them as his primary weapon of choice, not only to leverage deals, but also in broader negotiations, as well as domestic tax policy. Trump has suggested multiple times that he'd like to replace the money the government collects from income taxes, nearly 50% of the US government's total revenue, with income from tariffs. Well, we just don't see it because the math just doesn't add up. The US imported roughly $3.1 trillion in goods last year, while the government collected about $2 trillion in income taxes. Replacing that income tax revenue with tariffs would require extremely high tariffs. However, these massive tariffs would likely cause imports to plummet, ultimately reducing the amount of revenue collected from tariffs. Like all taxes, tariffs shift money around. Consumers, meaning everyday people, would likely pay higher prices for goods. Some domestic industries might see a boost from reduced competition. However, just because businesses make more money doesn't guarantee they'll hire more workers or increase wages. They might instead invest in automation, stock buybacks, or expansion, depending on what makes the most financial sense for them. So, claims that tariffs will bring back jobs or protect domestic workers aren't necessarily true. Hey, want to unlock your potential in less than 60 seconds? Visit the Greatness Gauge and take our quick assessment. You'll receive a free personalized report that highlights your strengths and provides tips to elevate your success. There's a link in the description area. Now, back to our regularly scheduled program. Furthermore, tariffs are a regressive tax. This means they disproportionately impact lower-income individuals and families. When tariffs increase the cost of imported goods, those higher prices hit lower incomes harder. A larger portion of a low-income household's budget is typically spent on essential goods like food and clothing. When these necessities become more expensive due to tariffs, it creates a greater financial burden compared to wealthier individuals who have more discretionary income. It's widely understood that wealth in America is concentrated in the hands of a small percentage of the population. Replacing income taxes with tariffs would likely disproportionately burden lower and middle-income families, further exacerbating this existing wealth gap. If tariffs increase, expect to pay more for imported goods. However, the price increase isn't a direct one-to-one match with the tariff percentage. A 10% tariff doesn't mean a straight 10% price increase. The tariff is applied at the point of entry and is just one cost among many others, including transportation, storage, marketing, and retail markup. The final price increase is usually lower than the tariff percentage, but it still means higher costs for businesses and consumers. Domestic companies, even without relying on imports, can also raise prices if their foreign competitors are forced to charge more due to tariffs. This brings us to how tariffs affect you not just as an entrepreneur, but also as a consumer. It's not just about individual products, it's about the entire system. Think about how goods get to your local store. Many products, even those produced domestically, rely on imported components or materials somewhere along the line. If there are Trump tariffs or US tariffs on things like steel or aluminum used in trucks, trains, or ships, the cost of transportation goes up. These auto tariffs, for example, don't just affect the price of new cars, they impact the cost of moving everything. So when the cost of fuel, vehicles, and shipping containers increases due to tariffs, those costs are passed along at every stage. Your groceries, your clothes, even your online purchases become more expensive because the cost of getting them to you has increased. Suddenly, your weekly budget is tighter. This is how China tariffs, tariffs on Canada, or any other tariffs, even new tariffs, can impact your wallet, even if you're not directly buying imported goods. You might even wonder, like many others, why the heck are prices so high right now? Well, the fact of the matter is that tariffs, even indirectly through transportation costs, could be a contributing factor. Higher prices can lead consumers to spend less elsewhere, which can slow down economic growth. And slow economic growth directly affects you, the entrepreneur. Additionally, other countries often retaliate with their own tariffs, impacting businesses that export. Such retaliatory measures can cause significant supply chain disruptions. We've seen discussions around aluminum tariffs, steel tariffs, and even auto tariffs, highlighting how various sectors can be affected. The interconnectedness of the global economy means that what happens in one country can quickly impact others. Trade agreements and relationships between nations greatly affect the flow of goods and services, influencing supply chains, material costs, and consumer demand. Understanding these dynamics is essential for entrepreneurs. While large-scale trade policy might seem like it's only for governments and corporations, these policies directly affect your business and your personal finances. The cost of materials, the availability of certain products, the dynamics of competition, and consumer spending habits are all tied to global trade issues. Stay informed. Trade policies change frequently, and understanding the big picture will help you navigate the ever-shifting economic landscape. In a world where trade uncertainty is a constant, those who understand the patterns will be best positioned for success. Consider how potential tariff changes impact both your inputs and the markets you serve. This will empower you to make informed decisions that help your business thrive and protect your purchasing power as a consumer. We'll see you back here the next time Pick Yourselfer. Until then, wishing you much love and happiness.